name is Ziling Hong Wei Nam. I would like to present about TPB 6013 Human Resource Management Chapter 8 Chapter 8 Industry Relation. So my matrix number is 01 TPM 18F 2021. So 8.1 explain the concept of industry relation in Malaysia. So industry relation meanings and definition is the term industry relations comprise industry and relations. Industry means any productive activity in which an individual is engaged. It includes a primary activity like agriculture, fisheries, plantation, forestry, horticulture, mining, like that. And B, secondary activity like manufacturing, construction, trade, transport, commerce, banking, communication. So second, industry relation is that part of management which is concerned with the manpower of the enterprise, whether machine operator, skilled worker or manager. So the concept of tripartite system. So this is a process of a job regulation that involves the three main actors in the industry relation system: employers, trade unions, and government. The Industry Relations Act 1967. So to maintain a good relationship and fair dealing between employers, workers, and their trade unions, to provide for specified reminders that are not available in common law or the Employment Act 1955. So to provide for the employees in their private sectors. Second, Trade Unions Act 1959. Trade Unions Act 1959 seeks to control activities of trade unions so that they can develop in an orderly and peaceful manner. The Act lays down stringent statutory and procedural provisions for the formation and operation of trade unions in Malaysia. So the third one is Employment Act 1955. The Employment Act, short form is EA, and applies to employees employed in West Malaysia who earn a monthly salary of 2,000 Malaysian ringgits and below, or regardless of salary granted, are employed as manual laborers or supervisors of manual laborers to operate or maintain any mechanically propelled vehicles for the purpose of transporting passengers or goods for rewards or commercial purpose as a domestic servant and in certain position on seagoing vessels. Public officers prohibit under any laws from forming or joining unions. Public officers employed in a confidential or security capacity. Public officers holding any post in the management and professional groups. So reason why workers join trade unions. They got 3 points. So economic motivates, improve employees' terms and conditions of service, give employees the collective strength to negotiate for better terms from employers, give them a voice to express their needs to the government. Second is protection of rights. Employees expect unions to protect their rights, to protect them from exploitations and unfair treatments at work. The third is social needs. Employees may be influenced to join to show solidarity with their fellow workers. So that's all my presentation. So now I will pass to Hafizi. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present the chapter 8. Thank you. Role of the Ministry of Human Resource in Industry Relations. The ministry is responsible for skill development, labor, occupational safety and health, trade unions, industry relations, industry court, labor market analysis, and social security, to name a few. And these responsibilities continue to grow with each new facet introduced as roles of human resource evolved with time and technology. So 8.2 explain the establishment of trade union in organization. So define the trade union in organization. Trade unions are associations of workers or organizations formed together by labor workers or employees to achieve their demands for better conditions at their works spheres. In the United States, trade unions go by the name labor unions. A labor union or trade unions is an organization of workers who have joined together to achieve goals in areas such as wage and working conditions. The union negotiates contracts and conditions with employers, keeping employees' satisfaction high and protecting workers from unsafe and or unfair working conditions. So the type of trade unions. So got three types: in-house trade unions, public sector trade unions, and employers trade unions. So the first one is in-house trade unions. In-house unions is a trade union whose members are all employed by the same employer in the same place of employment. They are more appreciative of the situation in their workplace and problems of employers and are less influenced by outsiders. So the third point is close relationships between employers and unions will lead to a more peaceful industry relations. So the example is Telecom Berhad Employers Unions, Tenaga Nasional Employees Unions. So the second trade union is public sector trade unions. Public sectors consists of the civic service, the statutory bodies, and the local authorities. Trade Unions Act provides that employees in the public sector can only form and join unions whose members are in the same ministry, departments, or occupations. Wages and other terms of services are discussed at the national level between the government and QPEX. So the third is employers trade unions, to secure the organization of all employers. So under section 26, 27 and 27A of Trade Unions Act, the following classes of persons are prohibited from being members of a union. So the first is you must, and any person below the age of 16 years Any student of an educational institution established by or under any written laws unless he is also employed as an employee and is over the age of 18 years. Any person employed in the establishment or industry or trade or occupation in respect of which the union is registered. Any public officers unless exempted by Yang di-Pertuan Agong. However, certain group of government employees is not allowed to join trade unions at all. Member of the armed forces, police force, and any prison service.
Okay, my name is Muhammad Hafizi bin Muhammad Amin. Normal metric number is 0 DPM 18F20T16. Okay, my part is to present about analyze the concept of collective bargaining in organization. Define the concept of collective bargaining in organization. Collective bargaining is where a group of employees get together to negotiate better terms with their employer. A collective bargaining agreement usually covers items such as pay, benefit, working condition, and possession. Next is collective bargaining process. A. Set bargaining issue. There are a way of the collective bargaining process. So first is a set bargaining issue. Before going to negotiation, the issue and possible related areas for discussion are to be identified. The knowledge regarding this issue must be collected. All detailed information be watched with the negotiator. During the discussion, the confusion can be avoided. The negotiator, on the basis of true knowledge of this issue for discussion, would proper effective discussion and the problem solution would become very easy. Okay, B is preparing for negotiation. Preparing for negotiation involves preparation before negotiation with their other parties to reach to an agreement. Both the parties involved in collective bargaining should prepare before going to negotiation so that they can be proper negotiation at the time discussion. Preparation would be include the issue parties involved, cost, impact, and this is would bring the confidence of the parties and result in effective negotiation. This is the first step of the process. Okay, so next is negotiation issue. Negotiation is the form of discussion making where the two or more parties approach a problem or situation waiting for achieve their own objective, which may or may not turn out to be the same. In the employee relation arena, negotiation usually take place within the collective bargaining environment. Next is the reaching of the agreement. The negotiation process begins when the concerned parties meet and submit their demand on the table to be the other parties. It starts with submission of the demand of the trade union to be in management. The negotiation start with the submission and bargaining take place. Through discussion, they reach to an agreement. Negotiation complete with mutually acceptable agreement. Okay, next is ratifying the agreement. During the discussion, whatever they have discussed and reached to an agreement that is to be ratified by both the parties. Once the agreement is ratified, the issue of difference or conflict is over and negotiation come to an end. Without acceptance of the agreement, the negotiation cannot be complete. So next is administration of the agreement. The lastly is the process. Once the agreement is accepted and signed, the agreement will be administered as per the term and condition of the agreement. In future, the work will be performed according to the ratified agreement. If doubt is there, then the agreement in writing would be referred. So the process complete the above mentioned step, it can be said the collective bargaining process has been complete. If not or some step not followed, then it can be said the bargaining process was not effected. Okay, next chapter is differentiate industrial action organization. Define industrial action in organization. First is industrial action is an act done by either an employee or an employer which prevent the operation of the contract of employment. Form of action by employer include strike, go slow, overtime ban, work of rule. The usual form by the employee is not out. Okay, next I will present about the demonstrate method of industrial action. So they have a tree of industrial action method. Is first is picketing is used as a way of increasing support for industrial action. It is where workers involved in industrial action attend a workplace to increase support for their cause. They might do this by communication, information, or persuading others not to work or not to carry out a part of their contract of employment. Second is strike. According to Industrial Dispute Act 1947, a strike is a cessation of work by a body of persons employed in an industry acting in combination or concentrated refusal of any number of persons who are or have been some employed to continue to work or to accept employment. Lastly is lockout. The lockout is a work stoppage or denial of employment instituted by the management of company during a labor dispute. In contrast to strike, is which employee refuse to work, and lockout is in effect by employee or industry owner. Okay, lastly is 8.5 is solve industrial dispute in organization. So define industrial dispute in organization. An industrial dispute is defined as a conflict or difference in opinion between management and worker regarding employment. It is a disagreement between an employer and employee's representative. Example is a trade union. The issue of disagreement is usually pay or other working condition. So next is a demonstrate procedure in solving industrial dispute. A is a direct negotiation. Direct negotiation means a disputed resolution process that involves an exchange of offer and counter offer by the parties, or discussion of the strength and weakness or the merit the parties' position without the use of the third person. Next is conciliation. Conciliation is merely the bridging together by a third party the two parties in dispute. Next is number 3 is mediation. Mediation is an attempt to settle the dispute with the help of an outsider who attempt to stimulate labor and management to reach some type of agreement. The mediator, unlike an arbitrator, cannot decide the issue. He listens, suggests, communication, and proceed. He does not give any award. That is an example of the mediation. Lastly is arbitration. Arbitration is restricted by the parties fail to arrive at the settlement by voluntary method. The parties to the dispute may then appoint an arbitrator and refer the dispute to him. The arbitrator award is binding upon a party who refer the dispute and arbitration. Arbitration can be either voluntary or compulsory. That's all for me. Thank you so much.